Imagine you have an internal, powerful tool to reshape your experience. Picture yourself holding that tool right now. Now think about how at times, certain events from your past, they seem to push buttons inside of you. These buttons make you feel like you're caught in a whirlwind of emotions. Anxiety, anger, fear, stress. And yet, every time you come across these buttons, you have the power to decide how to react. It's like when you find yourself in that space of discomfort. There's this little pause just before your automatic response kicks in, where you can choose a new path. And in that pause, you begin to notice something. You've grown. You're no longer the same person who made those mistakes. You're a new version of yourself. Someone who can look at the past and see it for what it truly is. Just a series of moments, each one a stepping stone that led you here. The things you thought you were being judged for, they're just stories. They don't have the power to control you anymore. They can't define who you are today, unless you let them. Even more fascinating, you can decide to reframe them as moments of learning, moments that led to your growth. Imagine for a moment you're walking down a path. Along that path, there's an old memory that used to hold so much weight. And you were convinced it defined you. But now, that memory looks different. It no longer feels like a weight. It feels like a lesson you've learned. You've grown stronger from it, more resilient. And you can now move beyond it with ease. Now ask yourself, what if those fears and moments of stress could actually be a signal for growth? Every time you start to feel that panic, what if you could notice it, smile and say, I've been here before. And this time I choose something different. It's like you found a new way of seeing it. What used to trigger fear now triggers excitement. You know you can face whatever comes next with calm and confidence, because after all, you've already been through it. Imagine standing tall, shoulders back, feeling strong and confident. See yourself in a moment where authority or perceived control used to trigger panic. Now notice how you can respond to it with ease, like a chess player calmly thinking through each move. You don't need to rush into the old emotions. You're in control, and you know it. It's like you've unlocked a hidden power within you, and each time you face a challenge, you grow even stronger. As you continue to grow into this new awareness, you realize the beliefs that once held you in a cycle of fear, they no longer apply. They've been replaced with a new belief that you are in control, and you have the ability to choose how you respond to any situation. You're not a helpless child anymore. You're someone who's learned from the past, but who's now walking with confidence into the future. As you move forward, every time you encounter a situation that used to feel overwhelming, you can shift the way you experience it. You can choose to feel calm, confident, and in control, knowing that you're free from the past grip. You can choose to see authority figures as equals, not as threats, people just like you, who have their own experiences, their own struggles, and their own growth to go through. What if every time you face something difficult, you can take a deep breath and remind yourself that you've handled tough situations before, that you've come through stronger every single time. It's like a muscle you've built, and the more you use it, the stronger it becomes. And even when you feel that familiar fear rising, you can gently remind yourself it's just a feeling that doesn't have to control you. It's just a signal, and you are in control of how you respond. So now imagine a future where you no longer feel trapped or helpless. Instead, you're stepping into situations with a sense of ease, knowing you have the skills, the power, and the inner resources to navigate them. Picture yourself walking confidently through the challenges of your life, seeing them as opportunities to further develop your strength and wisdom. You can allow yourself to feel calm and powerful in the face of authority, in the face of memories, in the face of anything that used to cause fear. It's like a magic shift. You've stepped into a new chapter, where you can truly be free from the past and its hold over you. And each time you feel those old patterns rising up, you simply notice them, choosing something different, and continue to grow. Isn't it amazing? In every moment, you have the choice to feel empowered, calm and confident. Each time you practice this, it becomes easier, more natural, more automatic. You no longer need to be ruled by fear, panic or anger. You can stand tall and free, knowing you're in control of your own experience. Now just feel that power inside you, and remember, you're always in charge. Every decision, every feeling, every thought, it's all within your control. You're free to create the life you desire. And as you continue to settle into the present moment, there's a sense of calmness that surrounds you, like a deep, soothing breath that naturally brings a sense of peace with each inhale, and a gentle release with each exhale. It's easy to feel lighter with every breath, and it's fascinating to realise, with every exhalation, you're letting go of anything that used to hold you back. In fact, you might start to notice all those old thoughts, feelings and memories of judgment, fear and doubt. They're simply slipping away, like sand through your fingers. And now, as you begin to notice the subtle shift within you, imagine this. Every time you're faced with someone in a position of authority, there's this powerful, deep understanding that you no longer need to feel threatened. You see them clearly, but more importantly, you see yourself clearly. It's as if you're standing in a space where you no longer need their approval, validation, or permission to be yourself. And isn't it interesting? When you realise you don't need something, you start to feel powerful. You can begin to notice how the power flows through you effortlessly. And all those old feelings of panic and fear, they suddenly melt away, as if they were never there at all. You can feel the difference now. There's new awareness within you. Whenever you're reminded of the past, there's no longer the sense of dread, no longer that pressure or burden that used to arise. It's as if time has softened the edges of those memories, and you realise the mistakes of the past do not change that bind you. They're just pieces of a larger puzzle that you've now completed. In fact, you can almost smile at those memories now because you know they don't define you. They never did. They were merely experiences that helped you grow. They helped you become who you are now, strong, capable, resilient. Imagine seeing your younger self, so full of questions, so full of uncertainty, and notice how, even now, you can gently hold that part of you with understanding. You don't need to judge that version of you because you know deep down that you've outgrown the need for judgment. You've outgrown the fear of those past mistakes. And what's so fascinating is you can now embrace those memories, not with fear, but a deep understanding that they were stepping stones, each one leading you to where you are now. And you're exactly where you need to be. It's like when you look back and notice that each challenge you faced, each difficult moment was a moment where you grew stronger, where you learned something new, and you can allow yourself to see that you're not the same person you were back then. You've evolved, you've transformed. You're now someone who can walk into any situation, and no matter what happens, you know you'll always find a way to adapt, to thrive and to succeed. And here's the best part. Now you're beginning to understand the power of your responses. You can choose how you want to feel in any situation. In the past, it may have felt automatic, like a roller coaster you couldn't get off. But now you can pause at the top of the ride and choose how you want to move forward. You can decide if you want to be excited by the journey rather than terrified of it. Because now you have a deep trust in yourself. You've built this trust with every experience you've had. And as you step into each new situation, you realise you can greet it with a calm sense of curiosity, knowing no matter what happens, you're in control. You're no longer at the mercy of fear or judgment. It's like you've unlocked a deep level of self-confidence. And with that confidence comes the power to feel at ease in any situation. When you think of authority figures or situations that once made you feel anxious or helpless, you now see them from a different perspective. It's as if they no longer hold the power over you they once did. Instead, you're standing side by side, equal, capable, equally powerful. And that's the real magic. Once you release the need to be validated, to be approved of, you begin to realise you're already whole, already worthy, already capable. You've always been enough. It's almost like whenever those old feelings of stress or panic rise up, you can now recognise them for what they are. Old patterns, memories of a time when you were learning, evolving, growing. And now, with your new understanding, you've the power to release them. It's like you're clearing space for your new way of being. Free from the past, free from fear, free from judgment. And in that space, you're creating something new. Something even more powerful, more expansive. And with each step you take, you're beginning to see just how natural it is for you to remain calm, collected, and powerful in the face of any situation. It's almost effortless now, like a muscle that grows stronger the more you use it. And the beauty is, you don't even need to think about it anymore. It's automatic, ingrained within you. And every time you walk into a room, meet someone in authority, or face a situation that used to trigger fear, you can now stand tall, knowing you're in control, you're free, you're powerful. The more you embrace this truth, the more you notice the things that used to hold you back, they've no hold over you anymore. The more you embrace it, the more you realise you've always had the ability to choose how you experience the world. The past, it's simply a distant memory, a place you've grown from, not something that holds you hostage. You see, the more you practice this, the more natural it becomes. And isn't it fascinating how, each time you face a challenge and handle it with even more ease and grace, the feelings of anxiety, fear and doubt, they fade into the background. And in their place comes a new sense of certainty, calm and confidence. You realise you've always been capable of this change. You simply needed to tap into the power that was already there, just waiting for you to notice. And now, with every experience, you move forward, feeling stronger, lighter, more empowered, and more free than ever before, because you've learned the key to unlocking your power. It lies within you. It's always been there, quietly waiting for you to realise it. And with each passing day, you feel more and more in tune with this power, stepping into your true potential with every moment. And as you continue to drift into this moment, there's a sense of ease that begins to unfold within you, almost like a gentle wave flowing over you, smoothing out any tension, any fear, or any doubt. You notice the weight of the past, those moments, those mistakes, those judgments. They simply begin to lift, one breath at a time. It's fascinating how, with each breath, the pressure you once felt around those moments becomes lighter, softer, as if they no longer have the same hold over you. Isn't it amazing how quickly things can change when you allow yourself the space to feel differently? Because what if, just by choosing to think about something differently, everything could shift in an instant? It's like walking into a room and suddenly realising the walls no longer feel confining. In fact, the room feels expansive now, open, free, inviting. The very space that once felt suffocating now feels open to endless possibilities. And isn't it interesting? This space is not outside of you. It's inside you, waiting to be unlocked. You can feel the power of that space now. The space where nothing from the past has the power to limit you. You're free from the hold of any past judgments or mistakes. Instead of feeling trapped, you realise you are stepping forward into an exciting new chapter of your life. Isn't that fascinating? The moment you choose to let go of the past and its old meanings, you're instantly empowered to create new meanings, new beliefs, new experiences. Every time you let go of an old belief, something new, more empowering, takes its place. And that something is your true, authentic power, your ability to shape the future. Now, as you imagine the situations that used to trigger fear and anxiety, perhaps people in positions of authority, perhaps memories of past mistakes, you begin to notice how these situations, they no longer have the same emotional charge they once did. The stories you once told yourself about how you weren't good enough, or how you needed validation, they seem distant, like old clothes that no longer fit. You start to see them from a completely new perspective. They no longer define you. In fact, they never truly did. It's almost like you've taken off those old clothes and put on something brand new. A suit of confidence, of self-assurance, of inner strength. And it's remarkable how, as you shift your perspective, you begin to see those situations for what they truly are. Simply experiences. Just like you can look at a tree and see its growth rings. You can look at your past and see it as part of your growth. Each ring, each experience, each moment in time, adding depth, adding layers to the strength you possess now. You can begin to notice the very things that used to feel like obstacles, they now feel like stepping stones. Each one leading you higher, to greater clarity, to greater self-awareness, to greater confidence. Now let's imagine just for a moment how those situations used to make you feel. There was a time when fear, doubt and anxiety would rise up. But now, as you observe those feelings from a distance, you begin to realise they're just that, feelings. They don't define you. You realise those feelings, they were once a signal, a sign that you were about to expand. And every time you faced that fear, you grew. Isn't that incredible? Every single time you choose to face it, you become stronger. You learned, you evolved, and each time that fear was less and less powerful. It started to lose its grip until now, when you feel it, you can see it clearly for what it is. Just an old pattern, an old belief, an old story that no longer serves you. And now, each time you experience a trigger, you can choose to step into a new belief. You don't have to react as you once did. You can simply notice, take a deep breath, and allow the old reaction to fade. You can feel the calmness inside you, like a steady, unshakable foundation that's always been there. You no longer need the approval or validation of anyone else. You're already enough. And with each passing day, it becomes easier to remember this truth. In fact, as you practice this, you realise how natural it feels to step into your power. You don't even need to think about it. It's like you're walking on autopilot. But the autopilot is one of confidence, inner peace and self-assurance. Each time you step into a situation that used to feel uncomfortable or overwhelming, you notice how effortlessly you can choose to feel relaxed, centered and in control. You begin to recognize you have the ability to influence how you feel, how you think, how you experience the world. And it's almost like you're constantly rewriting the script of your life, one that empowers you, that allows you to respond from a place of calmness, strength and inner peace. When you think of authority figures, those who once made you feel small or powerless, you now see them in a completely different light. You no longer see them as threats. You see them as people just like you. People with their own experiences, their own challenges, their own growth. And in this space, there's no need to feel fear. You realise you can stand side by side with anyone, no matter who they are. You can engage with them from a place of respect, but also from a place of self-respect, knowing you're just as worthy, just as capable, and just as powerful as anyone else. It's almost like you've shifted from seeing yourself as small and needing validation to seeing yourself as expansive, self-sufficient and whole. You're not waiting for anyone to give you permission to be yourself. You've already given it to yourself. And as you embrace this new belief, you realise just how much more expansive your life feels. It's like every door that once seemed locked is now wide open for you to walk through. You're standing at the threshold of something new now. Every day you're stepping into new possibilities. Isn't it incredible how, with each step you take, you feel lighter, freer, and more confident? You can move through the world with a sense of ease, knowing you hold the power to choose how you experience everything around you. And the beauty is, every time you make this choice, it becomes easier. You can now see the world as an exciting place full of opportunity. There's no need to fear authority or the past anymore. Instead, you see everything as an invitation to grow, to learn, and to thrive. Now, as you move through life, you can sense the shift within you. You're no longer held back by the past fears or judgments. You're free to create, to live, to expand. And the more you do this, the more you begin to realise you've always had this power. You've always had the ability to create your experience. And now you're stepping into that power with every passing moment.